¿Cómo se llama?
No, ya hay que ready ahora sí.
What does Vogdoni mean?
Vogdoni?
Yeah.
To give voice.
To give voice. Okay, cool. Oh, ultra cloud. You gotta get rid of this one.
It's from a bit from the company, so I was a bit I don't know. I want to remember.
What is it? Oh yeah. See, it's not even as good.
I know, but I heard it from before, and it's from the beat, right?
No.
From Iden3.
Well, yeah. What?
I mean, he gave it to me, so now I feel like I have to keep it,
Oh, wait, who? David?
David, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So,
Oh, Firefox. Hopefully it works. Okay, yeah, looks like it's working.
that's the noise I want.
Sorry. At least it works. Are you going to use the screen a lot? Are you going to use this whiteboard or screen?
The screen for sure, because we're going to have like the graphic.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go like you can send him like the website where there's like the graphic.
Yeah, he has that, but I'm hoping maybe he'll find us something to jump in. Probably not, but maybe.
Okay. Oh, so you're recording now?
Yeah, it's recording. It's recording, and we don't mind if we give a little vocadoni here. Give someone a voice. They won't be able to see shit. That's okay.
Maybe it'd be better.
No. I mean, it's the screen. The screen is just too bright for this. Like screens don't work on this kind of thing sometimes.
That's the video. That's the stream.
Yeah, it's streaming. We're live now, so it's better if you want to talk shit about the Spanish government, this is the moment.
I mean, the screen. We can maybe follow it on the screen.
Yeah.
I think it's like the same.
Yeah, you can just follow it over. Yeah. But probably still wants to see. Yeah. Talk pointing, or I don't know. Maybe. Sorry if you're watching this, it might take a while for us to start. It's streaming to give it transparency. And you know how many views we get on the channel. Yeah, the whole world's watching right now. Or maybe it's just that one guy.
Sí, sí.
Esto no volvido en general.
Bien. ¿Qué pasa, mamá?
A ver, joder.
No me gusta aquí.
Luego para que le cambie la plana.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sí, sí, ya está.
Where's this reading at?
Bueno,
Bueno,
para y eso,
We would need the white for sure, but just to start, what is this called? Bogdani?
They should go to the GitHub, right? It's on the GitHub.
Yes, it's linked there.
There's
Oh, it's a link.
the white page. The white page.
Sí, sí, sí. Sí, es.
Vamos, yo me he cantado la versión, obviamente.
Es la versión de así.
Sí, sí, quiero de día primero.
Ya, vale, ya vale, vale.
So,
Are you still busy checking? Or
yeah, I'm going to check one more time, but
no, I want to ask you about the
okay.
safe lately.
Yeah. Well,
So we're gonna go to the draft that we have. If anyone is online right now, you probably can't see the screen, but you should find like the draft white paper at voctoni.io, POCITO. No, I think so.
C-D-O-N-I.
So you can follow up from there.
So, well, just to make a summary of what we see this morning, we have seen the identity held by Iden3 with all this magic using Merkle trees and so on. We have seen what's Merkle proof and Merkle root and all this stuff. We have seen what a ZK snark is. So now we have seen also what a smart contract on Ethereum is. So now let's see how we put all these pieces together to make the system that we are proposing. So in the system there will be identities. We will call one kind of identity authorities or organizers. I don't know. Organizer. Yeah. Sorry. The organizer will create elections, and the users will be able to vote on the elections. So Well, one of the principles of the system is that it must be decentralized, it must be resilient, so we cannot have a single central point. It has to be to allow anonymous voting. What else?
Verifiable.
Verifiable. And we will try to use as less as possible the blockchain.
It needs to be used on a smartphone. Like that's the ultimate goal, and that means it needs to scale very, very well.
Yeah. Yeah, we would like to help on elections of millions of people if possible. So, yeah, we will try to use blockchain as less as possible. Then the blockchain we will use will be probably something like Ethereum, something that allows smart contracts. Yeah. What else? So.
Let's just follow the. So there is a draft of explaining the whole process. First, you will have like some definitions of what we mean by that, and then you can see like the voting process in like chronological order. Here maybe see.
Yeah, that's a general overview of the system. So the user and also the organizer will always interact with a web frontend, which can also be a Android app or iOS app. It doesn't matter, but this piece of here. So from here, the user can manage the identity, can create elections, can verify elections, and can vote. The identity part is held by Iden3. So the idea is not to get inside very deeply of this part. Let's trust that Iden3 works, and the user can use verified identity by using this system.
But just to be clear, the blockchain in itself don't really care about the identity scheme. It's just in our implementation that we're gonna use identity. Like in the system we will describe, identity is just like a public key.
Yeah. Yeah. So for instance, yeah. And then yeah, there will be a complex piece of the system which is not yet designed 100%, let's say. It will be this part here, the relay nodes network. I think the same happens in Iden3 more or less. So there is also a relay, and also it's a problem that must be solved in some point.
This is
Not
unrelated to
centralization.
this is unrelated to the relay nodes explanation from before.
No,
it's related. The concept is the same, but
Maybe similar section to be followed or not. Yeah.
Yeah, different use cases. So let's start, like, follow the steps to create an election on the system. Where is it? Here. That would be the first.
maybe you could like follow on that one and like here, the same document.
Same document.
No. Wait. Let's just say like follow like the text and have like the scheme on the side. Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go.
So the first step for organizing an election is to generate the census, so the list of identities who are able to vote. In this case, it can be held by Iden3, but we can think about that, for instance, to make it simple. The census might be a Merkle tree where the leaves are the IDs of each user who has to vote. ID, let's say, the ID card from the country. So, for instance, making a hash of some information of this ID card and putting it on as a leaf of a Merkle tree that would work. It's a census, which is not really
Actually, it needs to be a public key because you need to check with a private key inside the circuit. So it cannot be like a hash of an ID. It needs to be a hash of a public key that could work. But
of that would be the seed that generates a private key, which generates a public.
something that the ZK Snark circuit can validate on its own just by entering the private key. So the easiest is like just a public key.
So there will be an elections smart contract on Ethereum network. The organizer must use this smart contract for publishing a new election. When it wants to publish a new election, it relays a set of information. So it makes public a set of information, which is the Merkle root of the census. The IP, in this case, we're using IPFS for storing the big data, let's say, but we can use any other distributed file system if necessary, or even centralized file system. So where to find the data, the whole Merkle tree, or the whole information of the Merkle tree? The election ID, which will be unique for each election, and we identify the election in the blockchain. The duration, let's say the number of blocks that you want to have the election. The end block will be finished. Then an encryption public key. This is an encryption key for encrypting the vote option, and the private key will be public at the end of the election. So this is how we keep secrecy or privacy of the votes until the end of the election. Of course, the organizer will be able to read the votes because it has the private key, but we have a solution for this problem, and you will see afterwards. The voting options, like what can you vote, A, B, C, D, or candidate 1, candidate 2, candidate 3, or whatever you want. This is a format which is not yet defined, but it will be defined and JSON, for instance. And fonts. So it will, in this case, it could be Ether or some ARC20 token or whatever we want to use. But the organizer has to put funds on this election to pay the relates node and the infrastructure which is held in the election. We will see. And then make this transaction and make the Merkle tree public in IPFS. That's the first step. The relays then see the new election, let's say, on the blockchain, which is public. Yeah.
Just the funds are posted to the smart contract, but the person, the election organizer, also has to pay for the transaction.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So the relays must register in advance in another, let's say, another smart contract to participate on this election. So the relays will get a reward, an economic reward, and that's what incentivizes the relays to participate on elections and to act good. They will make public a public key, and they will also make a deposit of tokens to
incentivize the behavior.
Yeah. So if something is wrong, they will probably lose the funds or part of the funds. So yeah, that's the first step. So once the relays are registered and the owner has made, the organizer has made public the details of the election, then the users can start voting. This is the next step. So let's say I am a user and I want to vote. I am monitoring the smart contract, the election smart contract here. So I will see there is a new election. I will fetch the details of the election. I will get the Merkle tree from the IPFS, let's say, of the census. Then I will check if I can vote to this election. So if I can vote, I will start making the packets for voting. The packet for voting will be is this square here. Yeah, the user must, well, it doesn't matter, it should choose one of the relays. So let's say that the relays, they have a reputation because, for instance, you can see if the relay A has been participating in the last 10 elections and the behavior was good, so you trust him, or it's the relay from a friend of yours or from an association organization that you trust, or it's from your neighbor who is a hacker and you trust him. So you choose the relay. You choose the relay by getting the public key of this relay. So you will create your vote in one side, and you will create the ZK snark proof in the other. In the ZK snark proof, as we have seen before, what we are demonstrating is that we are able to vote. So we are inside this census Merkle tree. That's a very general graphic of the ZK snark circuit. So the private inputs will be the private key and the Merkle proof, showing that you are inside this tree. And then the public inputs will be the Merkle root, which is public for everyone. It's in the blockchain, you can get it. The election ID is also in the blockchain, so you can get it. It's public and the same for everyone. Then a nullifier. The nullifier is related with the private key. It can be something like the hash of the private key plus the election ID, for instance, and it will identify this vote and will make that you can vote twice in this election. And the, let's say that this is, it says vote, but it's the hash of the vote, for instance, is another input. The hash of the vote is an input of the ZK snark to be sure that no one is modifying the vote in the way from your computer to the IPFS or the blockchain or whatever. So you create this ZK snark proof. So you have the proof. With this proof, you can show anyone that you are inside the Merkle tree and you can vote. You have not voted before, and then you also attach your vote next to this packet. So let's write it here. The user, the voting packet will be something like.
I got it.
Proof. The nullifier. And the vote, which is and the vote which is encrypted.
And the process ID, the election ID.
And the vote. So you create this packet. You can do this in your computer. You don't need, at this point, you don't need to interact with the blockchain, just to download some parameters, but you don't need to send any transaction. You will then encrypt the packet with the public key of the relay you have choose. So let's say this is an encryption layer. The relay public key encryption. And once you have this ready, you send it to the relay mempool. Relay mempool is just a way to refer to a network, to a peer-to-peer network, where all the relays are connected. So it can be a blockchain, or it can be a DHT, or it can be some kind of peer-to-peer network. It doesn't matter, but all the relays are connected to those networks. So when you send a packet to this network, it's broadcasted to all the nodes which are connected to this network. So all the relays will get this packet. But as you have chosen one of the relays, only the relay that you have chosen will be able to decrypt the vote and to process. So that's the idea. You can try several relays. So you can choose one, send the vote. If it doesn't work, choose another, encrypt with another public key, send the vote, and the first one which appears to the blockchain will be the valid one. You can even not encrypt it with any public key. So you are saying like, okay, I send this packet, anyone can relay it. I don't care.
The reason why it's encrypted though is try to minimize mapping of IPs and both packages. So like ideally, if you encrypt that, you will send that through another relay that's not this one to minimize that.
And what is the reason of broadcasting for future reference?
It's because if you only have a single entry point, it can be blocked, so you cannot connect with this relay. But if you have many entry points and all of them are
But if
connected,
it's a TXT, everyone knows how to route in every other point. Then you don't need to go. And I was thinking that you mentioned the broadcasting maybe because you can check the reputation like that, you can find malicious relays and stuff like that. I was wondering if you have something like that in plan.
That's so. This the relay part is like the most.
Yeah, the most
the part that
most
needs some
defined.
better work. But ideally, yeah, is that some sort of reputation that.
yeah, it's important that this connection between the user and the relay must be anonymized somehow, because if not, the relay or the relay pool can map the IP address of the user with the vault, and that can be a problem.
Because eventually you will have the private key.
Yeah. In some moment, the private key will be public, so anyone will be able to see the vaults, and then they can correlate this vault with an IP address, and that's not valid. So an option would be to use some kind of Tor or I2P or some kind of IP layer anonymizing protocol. And the other would be to play something like Xavi said, that you encrypt with the key of one relay, but you send it through another relay. So in case they both are coordinated, they can know the IP. So
Yeah, here will need to be smart and make a game. Probably it's not a relay, what actually encrypts and puts it on the blockchain is something else. Maybe you need to call it different because they play different roles. And maybe you can even encrypt several times, so it needs to go through different relays or something to minimize.
yeah, you could take this packet and encrypt it 3 times, for instance, and this is what Hot Door is working, right? So you can encrypt it 3 times and then let the relays decrypt it and broadcast it again, and you are adding some privacy in the way. Or you use Tor. In case you use Tor, in theory you are completely anonymous. So you anonymize the network part, and the packet says nothing about you. So because
Another idea that came up was what they do in Greencoin and Mimblewimble, which is that clients, before sending a transaction to the chain, there's a 90% chance that they'll just send it to another client and have that client forward it.
Yeah.
And the compound effect of that is that it's hard to de-anonymize where the transaction.
We were talking about it having some peer-to-peer thing between clients, so you broadcast multiple transactions. But I'm not sure how doable is that with, especially through web. Maybe limitations always mentioning that.
I think there's an extra thing here that is helping. It's just not allowing to correlate by pen. So okay, let's say that you're the first person who votes very early in the morning, like at 8. If you're not only the only guy that is going to vote at 8, and then one vote in this hour. So you can do a lot of mixing and grouping things, but at the end it's 1-to-1.
But
so you need to create some kind of pool.
If you use Tor,
just to store.
If you use Tor, in this case, you cannot map. You cannot correlate the IP address because you just don't know the IP address of the source. So you add privacy to this connection, real privacy.
But it's just
that should work.
Yeah, they can correlate your connection. Yeah, okay, yeah, I know that.
Also, depending on how you relate the transactions, because the relay needs to aggregate most of the transactions, put them at once, you also lose some tracking there.
It's more of a mixing process. I think that should be done when you have a bunch of votes and then mix them and just send in a batch.
Yeah, the problem is depending on how you relay, you like if I relate at 8 a.m. in the morning and I'm the only one that I will like my package is relayed, all the nodes, like all the relays will know that I am.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if they aggregate it later.
So like maybe you can get like a receipt of voting like an hour or 2 hours later.
Yeah.
If it's secure, more secure this way. I don't know.
Anyway, this is a problem that is found in any voting system. It's a network layer problem. So,
An alternative solution is using dark nodes, stuff like that, to minimize all this stuff.
well, it's like using code. Yeah. Well, so let's say this is a kind of anonymous, and you send the packet. The relays will get the packet. So they will. The idea is that they will aggregate several votes. So they will wait maybe some minutes for votes, and they will create a single packet of votes. Let's say they aggregate, I don't know, 100 votes. It can be aggregated in a Merkle tree, but maybe it's not necessary to use Merkle trees here. Maybe just as kind of data format, which includes all the votes one after the other with some special character for separating it, or just use JSON, it doesn't matter. But they aggregate these votes and then make the hash of these votes, put the votes with all the data to, let's say, IPFS in this case, and then get the IPFS hash, which will be used for finding the file inside the IPFS network, and then publish this information to the Ethereum smart. So in the Ethereum smart contract, we will have the relay. So you can have a list of, that's new, of nullifiers. Let's say there are 4 votes here. So a list of nullifiers. So, yeah, I cannot. Sorry. But before relaying the vote, the relay must check that the vote is correct. So it takes the packet, decrypts it, and then check the proof.
That's actually like it's nice to do it, but it doesn't have to because at the end you have to verify everything again anyway.
Yeah, but to not
It's to minimize
and to not. I mean, to
Yeah,
not
totally.
put extra data to the blockchain, which is not necessary to have, to not make noise and to avoid spam attacks.
So, but what I mean is like it's not verifying as like a valid like to any count. It's just to minimize the amount of noise in the network.
Yeah, but actually, verify CK smart is quite fast. As far as I know, it's a constant amount of time. So.
Well,
And yeah, we were also thinking about putting here, let's say, an extra proof of work.
outside.
Okay, yeah, we'll go outside, completely outside. A proof of work, simple one, like just announce that you must iterate to make the highs with 5 zeros in the beginning, like Bitcoin. This is just to avoid flooding the relays network. So if the packet doesn't include this proof of work, the packet will be discarded and it won't be processed.
So here you don't know actually the vote option, the voting option.
Yeah, no, you don't know anything.
So this cannot be leaked to used to leak information before the ending of the voting process.
No, because the vote is encrypted.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
You have 2 encryptions on the board right now.
Yeah, this is, let's say, encryption with the election public key. So it can be seen. And then, yeah, this is this mode. So
everyone will be able to run his own relay anyway, right?
yeah,
So that's going to run also his own software.
Yeah.
I think this has to be taken into account. It's related to the thing I said before that maybe if it's more profitable for him, maybe that he chooses not to verify, for example, or maybe you need to incentivize extra the process, setting the proof, for example. Yeah. Or it needs to be defined clearly if everyone
well,
to run
let's say
their
that
own relay.
relaying
You could
Votes.
get penalized, for example, if you relay an invalid
Yeah.
transaction.
so if you relay, you can have a counter, like this relay has relayed 50% of the votes were fake votes.
Mm.
So
And you must have relays agree that
And who checks this?
That's a big question, I think.
Yeah. So
And what happens if you vote and you send a vote to the relay, and the relay, for example, takes a lot?
then you can choose another relay, and you can send the vote again. Just the
And the
first.
first that goes is the one that
Yeah.
stays.
This is why you.
You have to make sure you get like the receipt.
You have to check the blockchain for new votes registered in the blockchain, and then see if your vote is there or not.
Yeah.
So in the blockchain, you write this list. This is a transaction to the Ethereum blockchain, and this is sent by the relay. So a list of nullifiers, so the list of votes included in this packet, and let's say here the IPFS hash.
Okay.
So everyone knows where to find this information, and which information should be
Also,
inside.
the notifier
check
is
your-
found in the chain.
That's a new part.
Oh, yeah.
Now, before I was talking with Adrian, he came with the idea.
That can be very expensive though. Like if you need to put like 100 notifiers in one transaction, I don't know if that's possible.
Then you put a hash to the list of nullifiers in IPFS.
But then you already have the IPFS hash, which already contains the nullifier.
Let's work with this idea for the moment, and then we can try to optimize it.
No, and what I'm saying is like if you need to put the hash of these, like these nullifiers are already inside here. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
the thing is that you can control within the smart contracts that this modifier is not duplicated. If not, you need to kind of like
You have to take all the data. So
yeah,
it's
to
easier.
take all the data externally
It's
and
easier.
process everything.
You need this data. The relays will need this data for knowing if a vote has been relayed already or not. And you can also have, you need this data to know if your vote is accounted, if registered or not. You have to trust this information, but you have the light mode or you have the full mode. let's
Right.
say.
my approach here was you ask for the Merkle proof to the relay. So the relay provides a Merkle proof that your vote has been added, like some sort of like, or it just provides you the hash of that just added there.
But,
So I think that this is something. For instance, if you make proving, in some point you need to create some fraud proofs. You will need to check, yeah, that some relay did something wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you store all this information inside, you can just. I think it will be easier just to send all information to the smart contract to check that this relay did something in the wrong way.
Like a nullifier, if it's a hash, it's like 32 bits at least, right? So that means you need to put as many nullifiers as transactions, so I mean that's votes. That's like megabytes of data that you need to put in one voting process. That's like insane. Like, you cannot just put like list of nullifiers, unless you can compress it in something.
Yeah.
But then I think it was the point of like having that they go to
well,
my
no,
contract.
if you can decompress, it's still bad.
Okay.
But anyway,
Okay,
the tool, you can optimize this part of, let's say,
Yeah.
we put the list of modifiers here or not.
Yeah.
So important. So yeah, at this moment, I think yeah, the vote is registered in the blockchain and is in IPFS. The relay must take care of keeping the data availability to the end of the election, so to keep the IPFS data, access to the data. Also from Bogdani, for instance, let's say from the Bogdani organization, there will be some set of servers which can like check all these hashes and pin them to make them help with the data availability.
So sorry, the IPFS hashes contains what exactly?
The votes,
All the votes.
yeah,
That had been
of this
processed.
packet.
Okay.
So maybe 100 votes, let's say.
Mhm.
Yeah, but what I wanted to say is that for making the data available, then the relays will play an important role, but also Bogdan can play an important role, and third parties which want to contribute with the system, they can also, like we will provide the tools for, if if you want to support the project and you want to participate in the data availability, just run this program in your computer and it will look at the blockchain, and once a new hash appears, it will ping it, so it will make it more accessible for other people.
This is still the case that like a relay for any reason does not publish it to IPFS. It's like no one can pin it. Then we need to think about how to punish that, because that will, unless they like the user can also route, right? It's very corrupting to the system. Like a lot of users will have to send that to another relay. So we also need to think on how,
Let's go.
like find some like way to keep pinning the relay, and like if at least like within like a certain amount of time doesn't respond, like funny things somehow.
Yeah. So I don't know if at some point this is a sidechain that is only used
Could
for
be.
that. So we might could optimize this sidechain
To store it in there.
to store everything.
That could-
Because finding some time, I don't know if you have worked with IPFS.
Yeah,
Pinning.
it's not as fast.
And yeah, it's not fast. Sometimes it takes a lot of time to sync. So it's like the time lapse. Sometimes. So
It's,
I can optimize this sidechain for that.
It could be totally an option. Like
Yeah.
if you have your own blockchain, why not just
It's
store
actually,
everything there?
it doesn't matter which kind of distributed file system you use, or which kind of data availability system you use. So let's move to the election end. So after end block, the election is over. And then the organizer must publish the private key to decrypt the vote. This is done by doing a new transaction to the smart contract. And also that would be nice for the organizer to count the vote and so on, and to make the results public on the blockchain. You can trust it or you cannot. You can verify it if you want, but let's say that is the organizer. It's a good thing that the organizer makes it simple for the people. So if you trust the organizer, it has been working fine the last 10 elections, maybe you don't need to verify all the data. Someone else can do it, but yeah, the results will be already in the smart contract, so you can check it in your mobile app or your web browser. And yeah, there is this, the next tricky step is that the funds which were held in the elections smart contract will be moved to the relay smart contract for paying the relay. The relays will get an amount of funds depending on how many votes they have relayed, valid votes. So this has to be done also by the election organizer, not a human being, but a program made for this purpose. To check the votes, to check the relays, and like write the status on the blockchain. Let's say this relay has relayed 100 votes and 100% valid, this relay, blah, blah, blah. So according to these numbers, the funds will be sent to the smart contract. Some funds may be sent back to the owner or not. This is still to define. And then the relays can withdraw the funds from this smart contract to get the reward. The nice thing of this is that this can create like a free market at the end. So if you want to have more priority in your elections, you maybe pay more for the relays. So the relays can also have some heuristics and logics to choose what votes to prioritize over others in case there are too many votes. You have a queue, so you have to prioritize. Maybe you prioritize the ones which are better paid. So that open new possibilities on this scheme, and it looks like it can make it like self-sustainable. So anyone can add a relay because there is a reward, and the organizers will have this responsibility on the relay. Still to define many details on this economic stuff, but I think something like this might work. At the beginning, we probably will have only a single relay. It will be a centralized relay for all the operation, but in the other versions, and there will be like the system would be the nice thing to have. And yeah, the data is still available. It will be it can be available for, let's say, 1 week after the election. It can be defined, or I mean, the payment can be done 1 week, let's say, after the election. So to force the relays to keep the data available for 1 week, so everyone can check it. And once this time has passed, so the data can be, let's say, lost. It won't be lost because everyone can get it and can store it in some storage, but there will be no obligation from the relays to keep saving this data. We don't need it anymore, actually. Yeah, so that's the big picture.
It's not clear for me why exactly the voting the vote packet should be interpreted to the
This
relay.
it doesn't have to,
Okay.
but it's like if it doesn't have to, everyone can, like, whoever you send this package can map your vote with your IP. So you will send in a client, you will send this package to a relay.
Yeah.
This relay knows your IP, right? And when you decrypt the vote at the end, he can map it to your IP. If you have Tor or I2P, then that should not be necessary. But it needs to be defined. But that could be a way. Like if you create multiple times with multiple relays, you minimize this.
Even that, this is the good way to choose the relay. Because then you can choose the relay by the public key and relay it to another. No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you are choosing the relay you want to use. So they can be like a website of the relays to promote itself. It's like this distributed proof of stake, for instance, where you have delegates, not delegated proof of stake, I want to say. So you have delegates and they have the nice web pages where they announce they are delegate for as a miner and so on. So something like this could also happen.
So it really depends on the kind of relay you are using. If you are using a family relay, and it's not still necessary.
And another option still to explore is that the vote, which is encrypted with the key of the election of the organizer, can also be encrypted again with the key of the relay. So this will prevent the organizer to know the results in advance. Of course, the relay must make the private key public at the end of the election to make it accessible. But this way could avoid the problem of the organizer looking at seeing the results in the time the election is
I have
running.
a question. After all the process is done, is the person able to recover the vote?
Yeah, it's the vote is in IPFS, let's say.
Because it shouldn't. Like you should not be able to prove to anyone what you voted.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we should avoid that. I don't know if now it's possible to get it back.
So like if you recover your vote for any reason, or you have it on your device for any reason, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a proof that you voted this. So if everyone had ever access to the device,
Or someone
could
tells
come
you
to
like,
you,
show me what you voted. You know? Even though show me.
like
If you want to be sure that your vote was actually properly processed. No, that I voted white. I want to make sure that that one was.
But this can be used to.
Like
Once you
like
have
should be
cast the
sure-
vote, you should not be able to retrieve it.
In
And
theory,
show
the
to anyone.
system should give you the guarantee that the vote is calculated and cast correctly and that it should solve. I mean, it should be, in theory, but it does sound very practical. But
so how do you do that? Because like how do you delete data?
I don't think that can be done.
like
You cannot be sure that I did as use. I'm never
well,
sure.
remember we
I
talked
mean, you
about
can just save it, like let's say like
Yeah.
but that's like undoable, like even in a cloud.
You think
I
that
don't know, like
can solve?
things I explained to you before, but I don't know how much, like how it would be in practice. But there is something called homomorphic encryption, homomorphic voting, and basically you have a bunch of votes, and then they are all encrypted, and then you can add them together, and you will get the
can
sum
process it.
encrypted. Yeah, and then to decrypt it, for example, you can do it like you spread some keys and then you need 20 keys.
So it's like a mixing.
My understanding is that this takes orders of magnitude slower
I
than
don't
any
know.
processing, but
Okay.
like,
Well,
not
I just
extremely slow.
I think this is very interesting. You can combine this, like homomorphic encryption, homomorphic addition with semester sharing. So you encrypt with a key that is shared, the private key. So and for example, you can give one share of this key to each party that is involved in the elections.
But still, you as a creator, you have the original key.
But it
No.
isn't. No, so you have like everyone votes, and we send I don't know to the middle. We send all the votes encrypted, and then we calculate the sum, which will be encrypted, and then we can relate the votes that we made because we have the sum, and then we decrypt the sum.
Oh, okay. So you're using that as a mixer. Like you put them together. No, is that correct? No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's not. It's
What
like
is
a mixer.
mixer? What is mixer?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like you tumble them.
Mixer is not hard to explain about method is to make anonymous payments, or is not this?
I don't think it's anything that.
Yeah, it's not any kind of concept that like
Yeah.
you get input and then mix them up. And it's different output.
And this uses some more.
So mixer, it's yes, you have an input, you scramble things, and the output is equivalent to the input. It's like it's like a
Yeah,
it's like a, yeah, it's an equivalent.
Yeah,
It's
like
like equivalent
yeah.
systems for your proposals.
I guess it would be that. Like if I add two votes, it
Yeah.
would be the same as
But
having the encryption of the.
how did I solve the problem that you're mentioning? Right?
Then I think that if you get the sum, which let's suppose that with the sum you can actually guess how many votes each of the politicians got. I don't know. Then you can erase the individual votes. I don't know if that would be possible.
Like how do you erase something that's you have like the hash on the blockchain?
I don't know. But I'm just saying that it was an idea. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
You can never
there's
trust
this
that
technology.
an information which has made public in some moment is removed from our stuff.
I mean,
Even in your local device.
like the only way you could prove that you bought something is like someone has access to your private key.
Yeah, this can be an issue.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
instance, an employer that wants to know the employee's vote,
But this is
saying, show me that you bought this.
no, this is a real
Well,
requirement
then,
from
like,
our
what you could do-
Just as an example.
Will that be enough? Like the key you use to send a transaction for the census,
Either one.
it's like it's ephemeral key. You create it for that, and then
Oh,
you
okay.
You have to destroy the private key.
but you can do it on your device right after you bought, for example.
Yeah, of course. But
Yeah,
you
but
cannot
if you
never
do
be
so-
sure that it's happening.
You are, at least the other knows that you did this.
I think that's a risk that we will probably
Yeah,
have to,
I don't
like,
think there is it's a solvable
solution.
solution, right? Like
With distributed system and transparent system like this, I
But-
don't see the way to
But
avoid
I
this
think
problem.
it's quite an important requirement. It's not some minor detail like.
just
We should
people
really think
people
about it,
paying
like-
you or punishing you for voting something.
Like you, like no.
So is it possible to
Driving.
your own keys for one election with
Yeah,
election
so-
ID number one, then you somehow derive.
But if you can do this once, you can do it twice.
no, I think that's like the most valid solution. You use a key just once, and right after you bought this key, disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I say, if you vote me, I'll give you $50 afterwards. But you have to show me that you vote for me.
Yeah, like so right when you like send transaction, the app itself is frozen.
Yeah, there's something called malleability. I think the thing it's that you can do something, but nobody can prove. You cannot prove to other guys this. It's like some chat systems. You can send a message, but nobody can just generate the proof that you generated that. It's just this kind of things. But it's like some kind of property of systems.
Yeah, but the problem here is like the public key that you're gonna use. it's public. So you, I don't know, probably there's like a scheme.
I don't think there's a solution.
Yeah, like I'm very skeptical that this can be solved at all. Like, I don't know.
I guess.
Like what with like with any.
Maybe it's sacrificing something, like if instead of having one key, you have some, like several keys, one has to be secret or something like that. Like to decrypt, like, I guess you gain something and you lose something, and at some point you have to decide
I think it's totally worth it to think about. Like,
But I think,
like,
Something like
If you have
one
a
time
public
pass.
key and you encrypt this,
Like something
your
like
vote with
one
this
time,
public key cannot be reversed.
Yeah, they do.
exactly.
OTP.
Yeah.
But maybe like instead of
Oh,
OTP,
this is
one time,
starting point. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
I don't know how to apply it.
And
or maybe
something late versions.
I think it was.
I think it's worth
sí,
it.
no es
we
que
don't have the knowledge now, but we
Todas las
can
cosas
just
que
say,
se resuelven.
and maybe in 1 week we can meet or by message. And we can
Para que tú digas es que no
because now I'm thinking, okay, I need to read a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
Wikipedia
no,
articles,
that's
and
a
a
good
lot of
idea.
papers, and now I cannot tell because I have no idea.
Before casting the vote, you encrypt it with a public key, your vote, unless you have the private key of this public key. Then the organizer has a public key. Well, actually, you already have the public key. And it will be made public.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There's
then
no way. I don't think
Yeah,
there's a way.
this way,
I mean, you have to sacrifice the distributed and transparent system.
No, but
private key.
if you combine this with homomorphic encryption, there's a solution that there's two keys published by
Yeah,
the vote organizer. There's one that's the result key, which you could use secret sharing from multi-party, whatever, which is used at the end homomorphically to get the result. But there's another key that's the election integrity key that's used to make it so that voters can't
one by one.
prove their own vote.
I mean,
I don't
you
know.
can't actually avoid that. You can't put doors through the field because you'll get around. I mean, if someone's paying you next to you, hey, look,
Yeah.
I am voting this. Okay,
Yeah.
easy. No computation, no
Yeah.
cryptographic checks.
Yeah, this is a problem of
This is
digital.
unavoidable.
But I
But
mean-
It's different. It's different. At
you
the
won't do
moment,
it in a poll station. You can do it in your home or in the office.
I guess the scale of that could be different, right? That you could have like some systems that forces you to put it digitally, and then you can have.
I think it's very different having a live recording of the action
What you are
and
doing
having the proof for
over
the
time.
history.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. It's-
Yeah, that if somebody takes your device later, they can look at your voting history. That to me seems like a much
It's not the
a
same
bigger
following
risk.
one by one rather than just next
then-
morning bring your devices and prove
That
it.
could be before the election. That could be a process to register. So voters must register before, let's say, 1 week before the election, and in this registering means that they are providing the Merkel proof that they are in the census, and they are attaching a new public key, which will be used just for this election. And then a new Merkel tree of a new census is done with this public keys, which will be temporary just for this election. You know what I mean? So you use a temporary public key and private public key just for this election, but then you need to have a registration process, which is before the election, or you can do it maybe afterward, but then you need to interact with the server, which is not nice. The nice of
It
this
seems
system,
like having the behavior of an electronic voting system conform as much as possible to the behavior of non-electronic voting systems is good. And in a non-electronic system, you don't have the ability to check your vote afterwards, but also nobody else does. So maintaining those same properties seems like otherwise it will be a mental barrier to people participating in because it'll be the invert.
It's hard for me to understand why it's not an option just to remove your key right after the vote. Like why is that a problem?
Because if you do so, at least you are stating that you have done this.
But
If I tell you next
Okay.
more,
what if like you could? Okay, I get it.
Okay, then you can see if the person goes or not.
You can see that he deleted.
But if it's
No,
the only
no.
options.
Yeah.
No, like if
The app by
options-
default does this.
Exactly.
That's my point. But like you could have like
you have
complementary
a
apps. Let's say.
implementation of the app.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
This is
So
what we want.
the implementation, you're right on the implementation, which is
If you
What
use
do
the
you want?
system encrypted key storage, you tell the iOS or Android or whatever, delete this key or whatever.
Yeah, but then you are breaking this portability or public specifications because if there is a public specification, I can write an application without implementing this feature. And that's it.
So,
Okay, you mean like if I organize my own voting, I will play that.
Yeah. So you can participate
if I
here
implement
using
my
your own
own-
app, right?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
non-standard app.
Or you could have a political party that provides their app to vote, and they could treat that. So
Yeah, okay.
and they could like check like what you vote actually. Like you could.
Well, but
I don't know,
in the
it's-
end, they could manipulate your vote. They could be making you think
That's
that you're
true.
voting some party and obviously be voting for themselves. Then.
I think the one element to add to the conversation too is that often the way in which technologies like this are used is not by political forces but by personal forces. So like an abusive partner or something like it's not just political apparatus that will try to use the technology. It's like, oh, you're going to vote how I vote. So I'm not sure that has a specific implication, but it's something to keep in mind when you're evaluating.
Yeah, that's the only thing I am able to come up with. It's not the perfect solution, but can mitigate the problem. It's just like, yeah, this is like, there will be like a register of a new key that you must create just for this election, and then for validating this key, you need to provide a medical proof and the new key to the authority. Then this new key will be validated by the authorities, so it can be used in the election. And once then you use this key for voting, and then at the end of the election, you remove the key.
I think that
You don't need all that, right?
there needs to be some sort of officially supported clients. I mean, official apps.
I think that goes against like the nature of the
Yeah,
problem we're trying to solve.
Otherwise, anyone could be fooling you into making you think that the app you're actually using is legitimately transferring your vote. And
So I think you need to educate and saying like, you know, we trust this client. You're free to use the one we want, but we trust this client. But you cannot rely on that, right? Like it's a difference.
sure, but I mean, when you go to vote in traditional systems, you know that you have to go to this specific place, and this specific place is the official and only one you can go to. And then you show your ID card, and you appear on the census.
But because you don't have control over that, right? Like there's no way I can force you to use certain.
If you have the public key of the voting, you can use this, or this is the first idea. You could use this to prove that this app is for that voting.
What do you mean, like use like a have the checksum of the
Mhm.
app to publish the checksum of the app in the.
This can all.
But then you need something to check the checksum and like.
I mean, there could be a smart contract with the IPFS hash public to the actual.
Yeah, that's true.
But even that can be fake. I mean, you can modify the code of the application and make.
No, but you could do
Change
something.
Then you have at least
if-
you have some means to
Yeah.
try to do so.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
but
actually,
you cannot be sure.
But you could, for example, like the whole client could eventually be a static website. So you say like, use this hash, right? You retrieve the client from IPFS. You click on the website.
Exactly.
what
What
you
you are
publish it
voting on, the
in
options
voting
are
context.
hashed somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you can say like you can trust this client and this is the hash, right? And you go to a website, you put the hash, you download the client.
Even you
put
could
it on.
trace the results of your options as well and check this means blah.
and then in the client, obviously, you can choose whatever you want. But if you decide not to use the trusted one, then it's absolutely on you. Same as if, for example, I go by the street and I pick some envelope and I vote whatever is on it. It's totally up to me.
Right.
If I want to vote
Yeah,
a Jesus Christ image inside that's my vote. Okay.
But I think the idea of
Making
like
that
check
better.
checksum checksumming the client somehow, I think it's very important. Like
Because in real life it's
in
more,
general, like
yes, hash is actually that.
but in real life it's more difficult to spoof. But yeah, but digitally it's very easy to propagate a fake claim. So, well, at least we can take notes of these questions and then move forward.
If you write maybe the issues there so we don't forget.
So
can someone else do it? So I
I'm taking notes, but maybe we could put it somewhere on the board.
Maybe just the crypt path that we use before, so everyone has access already. Actually, it's right here.
As far as that, the problem of being able to prove your vote after, I think that it would be better to trade one-time computational complexity by having to sum the votes at the end with homomorphic encryption rather than adding all of this real-world complexity of having to go and register. It adds so much logistics overhead. It's better for each election. Okay, yeah, it's a heavy computation, but you only have to do it once per election to get the end result, and then it obviously it adds an element of trust in the whoever's organizing the election. You have to trust them that they won't then reveal that key, but that seems like a better trade-off than making it to people.
Just write it
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Just don't see the whole complexity proposal. Okay, great. It was a great feedback.
Sí. Ah, ¿usted está escribiendo bien?
Esa técnica.
¿Eh?
No escribía yo, pero escribí esa técnica también.
Always said how to.
Yeah,
no show.
Sí.
How
A
to.
ver. Ya leer y hasta ahí. Si lo voy a ver,
No, pero mira,
Party starts.
Beyond the air, there is Estrella or less.
No, la verdad es que
Ah, sí.
l'any de la Tarragona. Però a casa de 16, pues, 9 graus. Yeah. You can buy beer in Fairfax. That's in la costa.
So they
Yeah,
visit it online.
online fictional.
You need to go and buy.
Sí, se escribe con lo que uno propio y
But it's like
sí, se pasa una app.
9
Sí,
grades.
Yeah, y fucking just
The name is
te pasa bien y hay que
Panoptic.
No pude comprobar.
Un es diu Panoptic i l'altre es diu Su pena de Súria. I l'altre es diu Blackboard. Aquesta de 11 graus com 4. I Blackboard per Blackboard.
Give, I don't know.
And there's on the bottom right, there's some like 3 dots. It's like stop stream. And let the stream stop.
Oh no, it says start recording.
That's the difference. Like you sign up for Dropbox or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, still live stream. Okay.
Sí.